In 2008, Elon Musk was days away from losing everything. Tesla was hemorrhaging cash. SpaceX had just had its third rocket failure. His marriage was falling apart, and he had one decision left to make. One that every financial advisor, every car industry veteran, and every person who called themselves a realist told him was suicidal. He did it anyway, and that single decision didn't just save Tesla, it rewrote the rules of an industry that hadn't changed in 100 years. To understand how insane Musk's decision was, you have to understand what the car industry looked like in 2008. For over a century, the auto industry had one unbreakable rule. You sell cars through dealerships. General Motors, Ford, Toyota, every single manufacturer on earth used the same model. Build the car, ship it to a dealer, let the dealer sell it. Why? Because dealers absorb the risk. Manufacturers didn't have to worry about inventory piling up. They just built and shipped. It was the most stable, most proven business model in industrial history. And Elon Musk decided to completely ignore it. Here was his logic, and this is where it gets fascinating. Musk believed that car dealerships had a fundamental conflict of interest. Dealers made money on oil changes, repairs, engine work. An electric car, which has almost no moving parts and never needs an oil change, was their worst nightmare. If a dealer could choose between pushing a profitable gas car and an unfamiliar electric one, what do you think they choose? So Musk made the call. Tesla would sell directly to customers, no dealers, ever. This wasn't just unusual, it was illegal in dozens of US states, literally against the law. What happened next was a war, and Tesla was fighting on every front simultaneously. The National Automobile Dealers Association, one of the most powerful lobbying groups in America, came after Tesla hard. They pushed state legislatures across the country to enforce franchise laws that ban direct car sales. By 2014, Tesla was banned from selling directly in Texas, Michigan, Arizona, and several other states. Dealership lobbyists call it protecting consumers. Critics call it what it really was, protecting profits. But Musk didn't back down. He did something that changed the playbook entirely. He took the fight public. Instead of quietly lobbying politicians the way every other manufacturer would have, Musk went directly to his customers. And at this point, Tesla owners were some of the most passionate brand advocates in the world. He posted directly. He tweeted directly. He said, "We have no intention of relinquishing our right to sell directly to consumers." The response was extraordinary. Tesla owners organized. They showed up at state capitals. They testified. They wrote letters. And slowly, state by state, Tesla started winning. But here's what nobody talks about. The direct sales model wasn't just a legal fight. It was a data goldmine. When you buy a car from a dealer, the manufacturer knows almost nothing about you. The dealer has your data. But when Tesla sells directly, they know everything. Who bought, where they live, how they drive, when they charge, what features they use. That data became a weapon. Here's where the story goes from interesting to historic. Every other car manufacturer was watching Tesla, and what they saw terrified them. Tesla wasn't just selling a product, it was building a relationship with customers that traditional automakers couldn't replicate. Tesla could push software updates overnight and make your car faster, safer, or smarter while you slept. Because they owned the entire customer relationship, they could do things dealerships never could. And then the numbers started coming in. In 2020, Tesla delivered 500,000 cars. By 2023, it was over 1.8 million, with no advertising budget, no Super Bowl commercials, no dealer network. At its peak, Tesla was worth more than Toyota, Ford, GM, Mercedes, BMW, and Volkswagen combined. The industry had a choice, adapt or die. Ford launched the Mustang Mach-E and quietly started exploring direct-to-consumer models for EV sales. Rivian built its entire company on the Tesla direct sales playbook. Even General Motors, one of the most traditional manufacturers in history began restructuring its dealer relationships for the EV era. The 100-year-old dealership model, the one nobody dared touch, was crumbling, and the man who caused it almost didn't make it to 2009. Let's go back to that moment in 2008. Musk has spoken publicly about this. He had enough money to fund either Tesla or SpaceX, not both. He split his last $35 million between them, knowing that if either failed, he might lose everything. I thought we would probably fail, he said in an interview years later. On Christmas Eve 2008, Tesla closed a critical funding round, with just hours to spare before the company would have had to declare. One decision: to sell cars directly, to refuse the dealership model, to fight the entire established industry, set off a chain reaction that reshaped global manufacturing, accelerated the EV transition by at least a decade, and turned a near-bankrupt startup into the most valuable car company on the planet. The car industry told him it couldn't be done. He just needed one decision to prove them wrong. The lesson here isn't really about electric cars. It's about what happens when someone looks at an industry's most sacred rule, the rule everyone agrees on, the rule nobody questions, and asks, but why? Dealers exist to protect manufacturers from risk. Musk decided to take the risk himself, and in doing so, took the whole industry with him. The next time someone tells you that's just how it's done, remember this story. If you found this video interesting, subscribe. We break down the decisions behind the world's biggest business transformations every week. And drop in the comments, what other industry do you think is overdue for a Tesla-style disruption? See you in the next one.